Welcome back to You Love Comic Books. This is episode 5. In this show, I basically show you weekly hauls from comics that I go and find out in the wild, maybe some stuff I bought online, stuff from my collection. But for this week, it's basically a haul video. It's stuff that I bought earlier this week up until today. So, got some lots of different books here. I'll also show you some current books that I bought. We'll start with those. So, going with the new issues before we get into the back issues, War of the Bounty Hunters number 16. Sorry, this is part of the War of the Bounty Hunters series. It's okay. I don't know what to say about it. I feel like I got kind of suckered into it. These giant crossover events that they do now, they cross into titles. I don't normally buy Bounty Hunters. It's okay, but I was reminded why I dropped the book a year ago. I don't know. I have nothing else to say about it. Batman 113. It's good. I like it. Tynion's a really good writer, and Jimenez is an amazing artist. That's the main reason why I really like this book. The Clown Hunter backup. The reason why this book's now $5. It's really good actually. I actually enjoyed the Clown Hunter backup. They had a Ghost Maker, I think that's his name, this new character. I always love in comics how they just can bring in a character and you just go, yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with this character supposedly existing the entire time Batman was Batman, and it's like his long lost best friend. Sure, why not? You can get away with this in comic books. Movies is a whole other story. The audience in movies, you have to be a little more creative and retconning characters into the storyline. Fantastic Four, 35, 60th anniversary issue. So far, pretty good. You got John Romita Jr. drawing this, and as a guest, not the cover, this is Mark Brooks, but he's the artist for this, and it's a $10 book, but it's a full story. It's a big Kang storyline. So far, really good. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm liking it. It seems like a lot to him. But new books are already like $4 to $6 already, and this is 100 pages, so you get your money's worth. And it's cool to have John Romita Jr. on this. Dan Slott, I actually like as a writer a lot. I think he does a really good job, believe it or not. There's been some controversy about him over the year. I think some people just hate him for other reasons, but regardless, his Spider-Man run was amazing. No pun intended, but some of the best modern day storylines were during his run on Spider-Man. His She-Hulk line was really great. So when I heard he was coming on Fantastic Four, I was like, this is a natural fit. This is the perfect writer to be on Fantastic Four. And I haven't read this yet. 36, I guess 35 was delayed. 36 came out this week. I haven't read it yet. Rorschach. Okay. Finish this. This is part 12 of Rorschach by Tom King. I don't know if I could recommend this. This was $5 a book, 12 issues. There's the art's great, there's talent in it. I just don't know if the story is worth reading. There's if you're a Watchmen fan or a Rorschach fan, this is not your Rorschach. This is not the Rorschach from the movie where he's in the prison and he's like, they're not in prison with them, they're in prison with me. I don't know if I got the quote right. Don't get mad at me about that. But I'm just letting you know, is it worth reading? If you could get a trade of it, or if you find back issues really cheap, I'd say it's worth reading. I don't feel like I was ripped off. I stuck with it. It's good. It wasn't amazing. All right, here we go. Let's start with some $2 books. See, I would have preferred to have paid $2 for the Rorschach book. So, Batman Annual 25. Found this in a $2 books I'm going to show you. Paid a little less because I get a little discount with a bag. It's not at a comic store. It's at a bookstore. And they have back issues of comics. And sometimes their prices are bizarre. They either price everything super cheap or they put ridiculous prices on really bad condition key comic books, but they're beaters. But this book can go anywhere from $15 to $50. It's basically the origin of how Jason Todd came back into basically how he came back into our reality, because he shows up in Batman 635 and as the Red Hood, and this is kind of around Infinite Crisis, around that period of time. It's definitely worth a read if you get your hands on this. I mean, for $2, it was worth grabbing another one. It's Batman 713. This is the last issue of Volume 1 before New 52 came out. I already bought one of these months ago for like $11 or $13 or something like that. Kind of wish I waited and found this, but I guess sometimes you gotta buy. So I figured, I saw it for $2. I'm like, I want to grab another one, and I think it might even be in better condition than the one I bought for $12 or $13. So Batman 658. This is an early, like I think the third appearance of I forgot, Damian Wayne, the another Robin. It's Batman's long lost son from Talia al Ghul. This has some value. I mean, for $2, I think this is like easily a $10 book. Totally worth getting just for that. This is one I've been wanting to get. I didn't have this in my collection. This is Batman 634. I stopped reading Batman around this time. I didn't care for Winnick as a writer. He's the guy from The Real World, if anyone remembers. I think it's the infamous season where Puck, if anyone remembers this, if you're my age, you're in your 40s, you might know what I'm talking about. But Winnick was writing Batman, and I left it. But of course, that's the time when the Red Hood came back, and that book is like easily a $100 book. I figured I found 634 in a Batman for $2 in amazing condition. It doesn't really have any value. It's funny. In the inside, there's a preview to the cover of 635. I don't know if that counts as a first preview appearance of the new Red Hood. Probably not. But who knows? If I find this in a back bin for $2, maybe I'll find 635 in a back bin for $2. You never know. Okay, so I'm an artist, and I draw on these a lot and sell them. And if I could find any of these covers for $2, I'm gonna grab one. These blank variants, they're sketch covers. I think this one actually holds some value. But like I said, I'm gonna draw on it. And the good thing about a book like this is I'll draw like Wolverine on there. And at the end of the day, I will be able to sell it. It's just the way it goes. Like sometimes I bought like back issues, like blank variants of like Shazam. And I drew on it, and I had a really hard time selling it. I mean, as much as people love Shazam, there's not a lot of people that are going to shell out what I think is worth my art on something. So if I could get something that is geared towards X-Men, Batman, Star Wars, totally worth getting. Okay, Amazing Spider-Man, Brand New Day. This is the second or third appearance of Mr. Negative. This is the series restarted at 546, which Dan Slott took over. This is what I'm talking about with that amazing storyline. And it goes for a little bit, but to get it for $2 in amazing condition, totally worth getting. All right, so here's a book I've been trying to get for quite a while. I went to this one comic store and I was going through everything. And I only found this. I just bought this there. And it's Silver Surfer #1 from 1982. It was drawn by John Byrne. I guess scripted by Stan Lee and John Byrne. It's weird. If you look at this, though, the art style that John Byrne applies to it is really different, especially around this period of time. I mean, John Byrne has a very distinct style, and especially around this time where this is post X-Men. I think he's drawing Fantastic Four at this point. This guy, it's amazing how many books this guy did. He must have had, I don't know if he had ghost pencilers or the inker did a lot of work, but man, this guy must have never left his drawing table, because he was doing a ton of stuff around this time period. And I'm just happy to get it. Any Silver Surfer #1, especially, I guess this would be considered volume 2, even though I think it stops here. It's literally just a one shot. Great cover though. $2 book right here. Found this, Star Brand. This is from the infamous New Universe. It spawned out of Secret Wars 2. That was a big joke about Secret Wars 2, was that it was kind of like a setup for New Universe. Marvel wanted to create a new line of comics that were a little bit more grounded. And this is what this line was. I got this for two. This is probably the most important book out of that series because Star Brand has shown up in the Marvel Universe. The Star Brand has been part of the cosmic universe since this introduction. I'm pretty sure this is his first appearance. I could be wrong. There might be, I don't remember if there was like a new universe #1 or anything like that. I'll have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure this is either his like second appearance or his first appearance. I think this is probably the most, out of that line, this is the one you want to get because Marvel MCU will use this character or use a version of this character. Starbrand, I guess it's kind of like Nova Corps or like Quasar. Like, I think it's an entity or something. Like, it doesn't have to be this guy. It could be like, oh, I think right now he's in the Avengers, but it's like a little girl or something. I think, not to spend too much time talking about this because I didn't want to run through this video quicker. I honestly think the whole point of the new universe thing was to create these grounded comics that would be easily to translate to Hollywood movies in the mid-'80s. If you look back in the day, they could not make movies like they do now. They didn't have the technology. The costumes either looked really goofy or really stupid, or they would just change them up to the point where it didn't even look like the character. If anybody remembers Marvel's attempt at movies in the 80s, one of the bigger disappointments, just because was Punisher, not because the movie was, I mean, the movie was like okay, it fell for longer, and I thought it would have been, he was great in it, actually. They didn't put a freaking Punisher skull on his shirt. But I think if you look at the New Universe books, the character designs are very simple. They're almost like they were tailor-made to be easy for Hollywood to reproduce and put in movies, and it just didn't pick up. People weren't reading them. Dakota North, all right, here's some more. This is like $1, $2 books, whatever. If you at this comic store, if you buy 5, he gives you 25% off of them. I bought this thinking, like, this is kind of a gag. I kind of wish I didn't buy it, though, now that I look at it. It has a big old bend going down. Dakota North's just a character, like, this is pure spec. Like, if she shows up in Daredevil or something, like in a show, this character, this stupid book will go for more than what I paid for it. This is just, there was a storyline going on where Spider-Man has different characters. I guess this is part 2. Got this for, again, less than 2. This was a new line of comics that they did in the early 2000s. And again, I think it was made to, like, kind of sell movies. And this is just a version of Neymar. It's pretty easy to get. I highly recommend, if you find it and you find it really cheap and it's in really good condition, it's worth getting because I have a feeling that whatever storyline was in this will be what they kind of use in the movies. So, again, this is not his first appearance. It's a silly character, but like early this year, I bought the Black Knight miniseries 1 through 4 for like $10, and they're in really good condition, and that's going for like 10 times what I paid for it, if not more, because Black Knight's showing up in Eternals. So Jack of Hearts, which is just a terrible name, if this character shows up in anything, it'll be way more than what I paid for it. Again, this is just pure spec. I would not recommend spending more than what I did. I think, again, probably, it says $250. I paid less. It's in decent condition. This is based on the awful Solo movie. I guess it was okay. I don't know. I guess it's like a forgotten movie. People don't care about it. It's #1. If you like this version of Han Solo, that is not Harrison Ford, then I think you'll really like this comic. All right, here we go. This is from the same store, but I bought some more expensive issues. He gave me a little discount, which I really appreciate from him. I've been wanting to get this one. This is in really good condition. This is just the direct edition, but this is the Spider Armor. Again, it says $6.99, but he gave me like a discount on these. Just a nice 90s obnoxious foil cover. This is the Spider Armor. Any new costumes of Spider-Man are worth picking up. All right, here we go. Avengers 165, first appearance of Henry Gyrick. I think that's his name. He's just one of these characters that's like a thorn in the side of Avengers and stuff like that. He will show up in the MCU at some point. He's kind of like I don't know how to describe it, if he's like a bad Nick Fury. He's kind of a jerk. Again, worth getting. I think I looked through the book, he shows up for like maybe 2 panels. All right, here we go, Marvel Age. The Marvel Age is, it was like a preview magazine, kind of like a comic book. It was in the size of a comic book, and it was cheaper than a comic. It's like they had interviews and stuff, but man, some of these covers are amazing. And again, this one says $5.99, really good condition. It's a sexy She-Hulk cover. Now, I know that sounds like, what? If you can get your hand on any of the sexy She-Hulk covers from the 80s for cheap, get them, because they are going up, and they're going to be really hard to find, especially in good condition. This one is an even better one. He had this one for $10. Again, I paid less than that. This is just, again, an even better one. So this came out, this is issue 70, and this is issue 76. So I guess it starts here, and it ends with her sitting on the beach. I don't know. But again, this is an even better cover, and look at that. She's kicking Forbush Man. She's kicking sand in this poor little guy. Highly recommend, if you can find these cheap. This is around the time of the John Byrne She-Hulk series. There's some issues for those that go for really stupid money. I have the one with her, she's kind of wearing like a bra. That one goes for like $50 easily. I found that in a bin for like $3 earlier this year. The hard ones to get are the infamous jump roping issue. It's like issue 41 or something like that. I know this sounds ridiculous, but whatever. All right, here we go. This one's a really good one. He had it for $15. Again, got a discount on it. It's in decent condition. If it got a pressing, it would definitely be like an 8.5 easily. It's really clean, especially for, a white comic book. White cover, I think the back is white too. But again, this is a McFarlane cover. And any McFarlane Spider-Man from around this time period is like desirable. People want that. So I'm happy to get it. I'm happy to get it in the condition. I've been wanting this one. I think, honestly, this is just an interior page, but this is basically a preview to the Spider-Man series that McFarlane did. So he did Amazing first, and then he went off and did the Spider-Man series before he went and did Spawn. All right, and here we go. We're gonna round out this. This is the last store I went to. The Hands of Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu. I don't think this is considered a key, but this is considered an iconic cover of Shang-Chi. It's Mike Zeck. It's in decent condition. $5 for it. It goes for more. He has it labeled as 7.5. I looked at the book. I guess it's accurate. I mean, there's some spine ticks on there. His grading is pretty accurate in this store. This is a different store I went to. And I found this in another bin for literally the same price. And it was beaten to hell. So I'm happy I didn't buy it at that place and waited and just picked up this one. And it's just, again, this cool puzzle piece background. It's one of those iconic covers. All right, West Coast Avengers. This is like a new volume, I think came out in 2018. I was trying to find 7. Found one. One is, it's actually pretty funny, especially with all these characters showing up in series. I think it's definitely worth getting. Got it for, it was a $5 cover price, so it was $5.50 at the store. It's also the first appearance of Brodok, which is a good-looking version of MODOK. Definitely worth looking at. All right, here we go. Speaking of out-of-control crossover events, this one is not. This is, so like I was talking about the War of the Bounty Hunter series, like how it's like ridiculous. Like, do we really need like 60 issues to tell a pretty simple story? This is technically the first crossover miniseries. This predates Civil War. I'm not Civil War, sorry. Secret Wars. Again, say if you can find them for a decent price, definitely worth getting. It's only 3 issues. I found these today. I think this one was 8. This one's in really good condition. This one's in decent condition too. He had it marked lower, but I looked at the book and I don't know. I think it's a little better than what. I ain't gonna complain. This one I think was like 12. And then this one I actually bought many years ago. I don't even know what I paid for it, but it's in really good condition. It's probably better than that. So why did I get these? One, being that I'm a completist. But the other thing is that supposedly the What If series is going to end with some of the characters. Now, this is just speculation. I have no proof. It's what I'm hearing. And if you watched What If on Disney Plus, the endings have kind of been leading to something. And supposedly the last episode has like Captain Carter and all these other what if characters showing up, and supposedly the episode's going to be called Contest of Champions. Just a rumor. I have no proof except for what I've heard online. So please do not get mad. Do not go out and spend an exorbitant amount of money on these. If you find them for cheap, get them. If they do show up in What If, yes, they will go up. That's just the way it is. Will they stay up in value? I don't know. I mean, unless the episode's amazing and they do more Contest of Champions, then yes, it's definitely worth getting. And again, this is, for like pure, like just, hey, this is the first Marvel crossover, and it's kind of funny. It's like, this is just 3 issues. And then, they want to see how it did. I don't know if it was considered a success or not, but they did Secret Wars after, and that was 12 issues. And then we go from there. Also, another cool thing about this, Romita Jr. drew this, which is crazy, and you realize, how old is he? Now, he's been drawing probably since the late 70s. And that Fantastic Four 35 I showed in the beginning, that he drew that. Man, his style is so different. You could definitely tell. He's kind of drawing like his dad here. All right, here we go. Speaking of style change, too. I have number 1, so I needed number 2. They had it for $15. It's in decent condition. He had it graded as an 8. I would say, sure, it's an 8. It's also a newsstand. That's cool. Now, newsstands at this point, not a big deal. If anything, there were more newsstands back in this is like 1980. Yeah, 1980. Direct editions weren't as big as yet. But the thing is, on a newsstand, to have a really good condition copy of a newsstand is harder than to have a good condition of a direct copy. Whatever. I mean, it's up to the collector. Some collectors don't give a crap. Me, I'm not going to pay more for a newsstand, but if I find one and it's a good price, sure, I will buy it. It's a pleasant surprise to have. Number 3 is the more expensive one to get. I don't have that one yet. That's like the first appearance of forgot the name of the villain, but he's going to show up. What's interesting about this series, too, is that this is Bill Sienkiewicz. Am I saying his name right? And again, if you look at this issue, if you open up the artwork and everything like that, it's more like the classic Marvel style at the time. But as the series progresses, and especially if you go from this first volume list is 38 issues. By the end of 38, and with the covers and everything, Bill Sienkiewicz is what you know of him today. At that point, he evolves. You see all the evolution of his art from issue 1 of this series up till the end. It's pretty crazy. And again, as the Moon Knight series comes out, these are going to become way more expensive to get and much harder to get. I'm trying to complete the series. I need like 10 of them. I don't know. Unfortunately, some of those are the more expensive issues. All right, last one. I've been wanting to get this one for a while. They have it for $25. I don't know if I overspend. He has it labeled as an 8.5. I looked at the book. It isn't. I would say it's better than 8.5. Again, not sure. This is considered the first Gotham City Sirens. It's the team up of Harley Quinn, Catwoman, and Poison Ivy. I looked at the issue, and I'll say, is there a big team up between them? Kind of. But it's considered their first time they are together, and it leads to a series. This series is really expensive. Like, anytime I see them in stores, issue 1 goes for like $100, and every issue after that's like a $20, $30 book. It's pretty crazy. They've been talks about making a movie. We'll see. I feel like that iteration of the DC universe, like Birds of Prey and all that, I think that's done. I don't know if Margot Robbie's going to come back as Catwoman. I mean, not Catwoman, Harley Quinn. And Catwoman's going to show up in the new Batman film, but I don't know if that version of Catwoman is the version that they want in a Gotham City Sirens movie. I don't know. It's kind of a mess. We'll see what happens. It's just a book I've been looking for and having a hard time finding. And they had it there, and I was buying these books, and it was my birthday, so I figured I'm just going to get this. I'm not going to look for it anymore. It's in really, really good condition. I'm happy to have it. Like I said, he has it as a VF 8.5. I would say it's higher. Is it a 9.8? Probably not, but it's in really good condition. Happy to have it. Okay, so again, if you like what you see, if you like this content I am showing you, if you like the cadence of my voice, or whatever, why don't you give this a like? And maybe subscribe. Leave a comment if you have any questions about what you saw. Leave a comment below and I'll get back to you. And again, thank you for watching. You love comic books. Uh, this is the stuff that I bought. All right, thank you. Bye.